Somehow, I have managed to survive 100 days in hardcore Minecraft. I want to thank you guys for my first 100 subscribers on the channel. It is a huge milestone and I have had a lot of fun growing the channel and I can't wait to see what the future holds. So to celebrate, let's go on this journey together and jump into 100 days in hardcore Minecraft. If you are new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. This one took me well over 50 hours to make, so if you can take a moment to leave a like and comment, it would mean the world to me. Thank you guys so much for coming along the journey with me. I really appreciate all the support. Okay, let's go ahead and boot up a brand new world, set it to hardcore, and get started. Day 1 and I spawned into a plains biome. First thing is first in any Minecraft world. You gotta find a tree and punch it. You gotta make sure you take down the whole tree though. You can't leave any floating trees around. I've actually had people tell me that's why they don't play Minecraft. I use those logs to make a crafting table, and then I use that crafting table to make a wooden pickaxe. I then use that pickaxe to grab myself a few pieces of cobblestone so that I can make a stone pickaxe and hold on to the wooden pickaxe as a trophy. Next I wanted to grab any exposed coal I could see and some more cobblestone to make an axe. That will be used to gently massage the animals until they bestow food upon us. I wanted to find iron as quickly as possible, and luckily there was a large cave opening near spawn. I ended up spending the next couple of days in the upper caves collecting iron and coal so that I could suit up with an iron armor set. I cooked some food before going in so I didn't starve and explored the caves for a couple of days to get set up for success. Once I had enough iron, it was time to smelt the raw iron into ingots and craft a suit of armor. Oh yeah, I'm looking clean. The rest of the first night I spent grabbing whatever resources I could find. Day 2 came in hot with the skeleton spawner. I was excited to find this, but I actually had plans to find a village and quickly realized I probably won't be able to make much use of the spawner. Either way, I made use of the room while I dug down to the deep caves to find myself my first diamond. This actually ended up being the only diamond I mined by hand this whole video. I explored the caves for a couple days, mining some gold, some redstone, and some lapis. Day 3, more caving. Day 4, even more caving. And by day 5, I was getting kind of sick of the caves and figured I should head out and find myself a village. So I set out on a bit of an adventure. The night before day 6, I found myself the village I had been searching for. I ran over to make sure the villagers were still safe and alive, then got right to work. The first thing I built out was a basic villager breeder. These billies are a bit OP, but they have become a major part of the game at this point, so I wanted to get them going early. The next few days were spent building up an iron farm. This is a super basic design and works pretty much anywhere you want to put it, in any dimension. It is also super easy to put together and takes a minimal amount of materials. It works really great as a starter farm. It is only going to give you a couple hundred ingots per hour, but as long as it is often within render distance, that should be enough for the early game. I am a fan of the plains biome, but there aren't many trees, so I had to set up a tree chopping operation for myself. I only have oak to start with, but I did eventually venture out to find myself more building materials. At this point, I just set up a bunch of oak trees next to the base and chopped them whenever they grew up. I used the oak to build out the start of my base underneath the villager breeder and iron farm. I like to put things together whenever I can, and feeding the iron farm directly into my storage room is the perfect addition. I also built out the villager hall down here so everything is in one spot. Day 20 and it's time to do some farming. I built out a sugarcane farm filled with paper and rockets. Put together a simple grinder for beef and leather. I planted up a bit of bamboo as well, and to be honest, I don't even know where this bamboo came from, but I did have it. I know there's a jungle nearby. I did some more tree planting, which leads to more tree chopping, and all the while, the iron farm is steadily producing items. All of this stuff was used to trade for emeralds and experience so that I could upgrade my armor before going into the nether. But first, I had to argue with the villagers for a while until they gave me the right products. I'd been negotiating with these billies for days on end, but eventually, they gave in. Diamond armor. A full set from the armorer. Oof. Shiny. Once I got my diamond suit, I could hang up the iron as a showpiece. A true champion suit of armor. I am going to still need to do some enchanting, so I set up an enchantment table and started to roll off some tools at level 30. Along with the enchantment table, I employed a herd of librarians to get me some specific enchanted books. They helped set me up with full protection diamond gear to keep me safe on my upcoming hellish mission into the nether. My first steps into the torturous hellscape were met with bloodied vines and an ominous fortress, waiting for me to make a false step. Cruel monsters around every corner, ready to take my head. I fought off wither skeletons and blazes, and even began clearing space for a blaze farm, which I soon realized would be in vain. I don't ever use them. Skeletons were shooting at me, and magma cubes trying to stomp me down. But I had resources I needed to collect. Nether quartz for redstone. Gold for black magic. Soul sand for soul sand stuff. And bones to feed the crops. The fortress was dangerous, but I was more dangerous. Slaying piglins for stepping too close. And hoglins for that sweet bacon. I had to keep moving across the hellscape to find enough materials that I came for. Along the way, I was challenged by endermen. I was shot at by ghasts. But no mob is a match for the strength of a true champion. After a perilous journey, I finally returned home on day 38 to my family of billies. I can now settle in, grind out some villager trades, and begin the zombie curing process. But let's be honest, nobody wants to see me grind villagers. You want to see this instead. You're welcome. What is important is that with the blaze rods I was able to get from the nether, I was able to make myself a brewing stand. And the cleric villager is just what we need when it comes to ender pearls, and the brewing stand lets us make potions of weakness for zombie curing. If we dig a 1x2 trench behind the villagers, place some pistons below them, a couple of pieces of redstone, and trapdoors behind the pistons, we can set up a super easy zombie feeder device. Day 40, and I had to go back to the nether to get my hands on some netherwart. The first fortress I found did not have any. I ran past monsters and dangers until I found a fortress that had the demon grass. I was able to find a good amount without too much trouble and headed back to the base in the overworld. That's when I realized I needed fermented spider eyes for necromancy, not netherwart. So I hopped on my horse and headed to the taiga in search of mushrooms. With those, sugar, and a spider eye, I made my core ingredient for the resurrection potion. Now I just needed a patient zero. So I lured this Dumbo into the trading hall and set him up to chomp on the villagers when I lower them down. Then a quick little splash and a golden apple, and they should be feeling bright and cheery in no time. At this point, my cleric was offering ender pearls, and I was able to make eyes of ender to find my way to the end. By day 45, I knew the time was coming soon. I would soon be venturing out to a new dimension to fight my greatest battle, to take on the Ender Dragon. Before I could leave, I had to upgrade some of my tools and some of my armor. Things were starting to feel a bit cramped, so I did a little bit of work on the base in the daytime, clearing some space to build out a larger storage room and expand the villager trading halls. With my new maxed out tools, progress was moving much quicker. Once the sun fell, I ventured out to hunt phantoms for their membranes. These would be used to brew potions of slow falling to keep me safe in the skies against the dragon. So the netherwart I got came in handy after all. I threw in some redstone to make them last longer too. The next evening, I had another hunt to take on, creepers. Rockets are a must when exploring the end, so I can take flight right away once I find an elytra. Once I was fully equipped with all my gear and potions, I set out to find a stronghold. I set out into the deep blue ocean and rowed out to sea. Along the way, I found the biggest mushroom island I have ever seen. That's when I noticed the eyes of Ender change direction. I took a deep dive down into the ocean before burying myself under the seafloor and finding myself in the library of the stronghold. After a short journey through the labyrinth, I found the end portal, put the eyes in place, and jumped into the portal, ready to take on the Ender Dragon. I have finally made it. The end. The dragon looms overhead, ready to strike. The dragon unleashes a roar that shakes the island around me, calling on the enderman to attack. Her brainwashed bodyguards beat on me until I have to retreat to a golden apple. They are strong, but I am here for a much greater foe. A true sharpshooter, I pick off the end crystals one by one, ripping the dragon's life force from her reach. 10 pillars in total, the crystals must be destroyed lest she be immortal, untouchable. I scaled the tallest towers, which were out of reach of arrow shot, and took cover as the crystals exploded into oblivion and leapt gently down thanks to the gift of the phantoms. Only a few crystals were left. It was only a matter of time until I would face the dragon directly. I stared her down, facing the beast I had feared the most, her purple eyes piercing my own, sending chills down my spine. I destroyed the last of the crystals, then it was time to face my opponent head on. I hacked and slashed, barely scratching her armored scales. She flew from her perch and took to the skies, blowing her rancid breath in every direction. But no beast can escape the arrow of a true warrior. Her sharp obsidian scales kept me at bay, but only for so long. Endermen were all around me, ready to step in at their controller's command. The fight was long, but I had fate on my side. She was weak, and sensing her doom sent me flying into the air, but the phantoms were by my side. She was losing energy quick. I knew it was only a matter of time. As she took her perch, I saw my opening, leapt towards her, and ended the tyranny of the dragon. Huzzah! I had defeated the dragon. I collected her life force scattered around me. The job was finished, but our journey had only just begun. I tried to grab the egg to prevent this catastrophe from happening again, but it was repelled from my hand and flew into the portal into the void. I knew this would spell trouble, but I had to continue my journey to the outer islands. I climbed up and pearled into a gateway to take me from the center island, and found myself stranded on a tiny island over the void. I would have to bridge and pearl my way across the wasteland if I was to find an elytra. Endermen greeted me at every step, cheering for their release from the dragon's spell. I bridged across voids strung over certain death. I pearled from island to island, searching for any semblance of civilization, but not every throw was well placed. I even almost fell to my death when a pearl hit the side of an island, but nothing can stop me now. I climbed back up and continued my journey. A lesson well learned. After some time, I realized I could crank my render distance, and when it did, a city immediately appeared. I quickly bridged over to the nearby island, ready to plunder the booty in the ship in the sky. I drank another potion and towered up as high as I could. I leapt from my tower, my little feet kicking as hard as they could. I attempted to pearl to the boat, but ultimately, I missed the boat. In all honesty, it was a terrible throw, but all is well. I came prepared. I tossed another pearl towards the city and entered through the front door. I was immediately greeted by a few shulkers, which were quickly removed from the afterlife. I fought a few more shulkers while traveling the city, was hit by a bullet, floated towards the ship, and made my second attempt at pearl, which was dead on, and claimed my wings. Right as I took flight, I saw another end city in the distance, but alas, no ship in sight. The city was small, so I quickly took off. In search of a gateway to return home, I found a third city. Unwilling to fight my way through shulkers, I looted the chest in the top room for a diamond helmet and diamond boots. I eventually found the gateway, returned to the main island, and was pushed into the portal by fanatic endermen thanking me for saving them. And let the credits roll. I'm just kidding, we're not going to watch that. After returning home, I decided it was time to get some work done on the base. The world is safe, for now, and I needed a true home. I began clearing out space for the basement and building up a simple storage room. I took a decent amount of time to chop up a bunch of wood as I was going to need a lot to build out the base. All I really had at the base was oak wood, so I decided to go on a little exploration to find myself all the different wood types. I flew out to the taiga to find spruce wood. The dark oak forest gave me none other than dark oak wood to work with. I am not a huge fan of zebra logs, but I do like the way birch leaves look and stripped wood looks. And I don't think I have ever built anything with jungle wood before, but I am going to want it to fill out my collection. And lastly, I got some acacia wood from the savanna biome, and that completed the collection. I then went home and made a space for each one on my storage room. I did waste a little time trying to get wither skulls, but that proved to be pretty unfruitful, so I just came back home and started building out the main room of the basement. I knew I would need more space for villagers, so I expanded the hallways behind the main room to add another row of villagers. I was not able to fully finish the trading hall in the 100 days, but I will be coming back around to finish it. I started bringing in villagers and getting them put in place. Specifically, I need stonemasons to sell me bricks. I also spent some time chopping wood and collecting sand and gravel to make white concrete. Okay, let's turn this base into something I can be proud of. I'm going to do this build in a Tudor style. I started by dotting the ground with the logs where I wanted the support beams to go, then brought those up to the height that I wanted them. Then I decided that I wanted them a little bit taller. It ended up being 7 blocks tall at the end. Next comes in the line of trim to separate the sections of the building. I added a little overhang on the edges to create a little more depth. The second story is going to be made of white concrete. One of the main characteristics of Tudor style is the multi-toned sections. White stucco over bricks is a common theme in this architectural style. Whenever I can, I like to use white concrete powder and come back over with water, instead of pre-converting the concrete. The small side of the build will have a pitched roof, while the larger side is going to go up another section. I know a lot of people struggle with roofs, but I think one of the biggest hurdles is just how much time it can take to make it. And if you let yourself be patient, it can actually become a very rewarding process. I lost a little footage, but I added a third section and filled in the roof, finishing the facade of the building. I am very happy with how this build is shaping out so far. Now it is time to add the details. You often see white trim around the windows and doorways of Tudor homes, and I felt diorite would be the perfect block to add that touch. If you don't like diorite, you probably just haven't found a great use for it yet, so maybe give it another chance. I am a sucker for dark oak against white concrete, and that combination came in perfectly to add some detail work to the second section of the building. I built the doorway out of wood initially, but then after placing in the diorite windows next to it, I knew it would look much better to match those details with each other. The last details to put in were the windmills. If you have played with the create mod at all, these are probably familiar to you. While they may not be functional now, I do plan to add the create mod to this world and possibly start a new series and stream. Well, that is a build complete, and I gotta say, I could not be happier with how it came out. And that is going to wrap up our 100 days in hardcore Minecraft. It's been a really fun journey along the way, and I am probably going to have to stay in this world for at least as long as I can. And I'll definitely keep making content about it. I can't guarantee a lot of videos, but I will probably do some streams on it. So make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of those streams or any future videos coming up. And once again, I want to thank you all so much for the first 100 subs on the channel. It is a humongous milestone, and I am super excited to watch the channel grow and to see where things go. This has been the most time I've ever put into a video, and I cannot be happier with how it came out. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure you leave a like and comment down below what kind of videos you'd like to see in the future, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks again. Bye.